Okay, we're continuing in Proverbs chapter 2, and we're at verse 9 now. Then you will understand if you seek wisdom. You will understand righteousness and justice, equity, and every good path. For wisdom will enter into your heart, knowledge will be pleasant to your soul, discretion will watch over you, understanding will keep you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the men who speak perverse things, who forsake the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the perverseness of evil, who are crooked in their paths and wayward in their paths, to deliver you from the strange woman, even from the foreigner who flatters with her words, who forsakes the friend of her youth and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house leads down to death, her paths to the departed spirits. None who go to her return again, neither do they attain to the paths of life. And then I wrote that wisdom just simply leads to pleasure and protection. And we all want that, right? We all want pleasure and protection. And so there's so many different worldviews out here. And when you seek wisdom, and you know, gosh, we can't see each other's hearts, can we? But Jesus talked about the human heart and how it's like soil, and he casts the seed, and some people do not take in God's word because the devil takes it away, or they're too concerned about this world. And so I think it's that way with us. And you don't know, and I don't know other people, but we know when somebody doesn't find truth, there's a reason for it, right? Either they don't care, or they care only so much, right? Because there's so many different worldviews out there. There's atheism, there's different religions, and they can't all be right. And of course I believe that the Bible is right, and Christianity is right, and everything Jesus says is right. But there's so many people who even believe that, but they interpret it wrong. And we've got to realize that it's a heart issue, isn't it? And so if you are genuinely seeking wisdom, you're going to find the right path. You're not going to... I love how it says that you'll be protected from men who speak perverse things, right? There's so many different worldviews that compared to Christianity, and from God's perspective, they're perverted, they're wrong, they're perverse. And there's people who claim to be Christians, and they have a perverse way of thinking, right? They don't think Jesus rose from the dead. They don't think Jesus is God. So many people say homosexuality is okay, and they ignore what is clearly written in Romans chapter 1. And so, anyway, I do bad things, right? We all do bad things, but that is another one of those bad things. And so it'll protect us from that. And then I love how it says that it'll protect you from the wayward woman, right? Because being a heterosexual male, I've definitely craved women, and I've done it in a wrong way, and I've watched pornography, and I've had these very wrong desires, right? And and let me tell you what, wisdom does protect you from that. Wisdom has protected me from having an inappropriate, or I've made a lot of mistakes in my past, but right now I'm married and I'm loving it to one woman, and it just protects us from, Solomon saw this. He saw, or he heard about David pursuing his mom whenever his mom was married to somebody else, and David had her husband killed. So Solomon knows how damaging it can be when a man pursues a woman who's not his wife. And so he knows about that. But I think this can also be a great picture, because the church is the bride of Christ. So there's all these other religions and worldviews out there that they can be seen as an adulterous woman, because those, we're all supposed to be worshiping God. And idolatry, or worshiping something other than God, is adultery. So if you see a group of people worshiping something other than God, that's from God's perspective, that group is an adulterous woman. And I believe seeking wisdom will also keep you from those different groups, whether it be a different religion, whether it be atheism, whether it be a form of Christianity that's false. Seek wisdom, be honest with yourself, so that you can stay away from perverse teaching, perverse men. You can stay away from an adulterous woman, and then a picture of an adulterous woman, which is a community that worships something other than the true God.